Hello, fellow seekers. This might be the strangest thing I've ever attempted. Yes, y'all don't see me, and if I had my druthers, that is how it would be, because second day back at school, even though the kids aren't back, things are a hot mess, sweat, yucky, dark bags, circles under my eyes. But let me explain why, and let's just see if it works. Bear with me. So what I have to work with is my phone and my laptop. Well, there was an unfortunate incident that occurred with my laptop. Like the screen part of it is like messed up, but yet it still works. It's kind of like when in the Chucky movies, how Chucky like has his arms and his legs off, but he's still going and he's all burned up, but he's still moving. I think my computer is Chucky. So I'm going to attempt to try to record Sarah Boone in a smaller mode, and I will show you all what my screen looks like. But it should show you how determined I am to do this, no matter what, or else it'll tell you I'm totally insane and I need to be locked up. So let's give it a try. So before I attempt this, let me show you what I got going on here. I'm not going to move this too much, but there's a piece. Well, let me see if I can do it. What does it matter at this point? I'm so unprofessional now. So a piece down there, it broke, and there's wires coming out. Yeah, this computer is going to be Chucky. I mean, I've had it for a while, and I'd hate to, but I'm like, what the heck am I going to do? So you see that part of the screen is clearly messed up, but look, you can see where it says Sarah Boone, I can't talk. This is not how I planned. And the reason why I never really wanted to show myself that much, it wasn't because, I'll complain about, the bag's under my eyes and I look like this, I'm a hot mess. At this point, there isn't much I can do about that. But the main reason I wanted to do it is I just wanted the focus to be off me and more on the content I was covering. But, well, so this is what we've got, okay? So, and the funny thing is I'm able to log on. Sorry about that. Things you're able to play. Well, I'm just going to see. Just bear with me. Let's see if we can do this. And for those of you who are still with me, sorry about that. So, those of you all who are still with me, I love you. God bless you. And maybe y'all are just curious about my insanity. But I'm going to see what I have, and we're going to do the best we can with this. Okay, so what I've done now is I put it in mini mode view, and let's just see.
From Monday was regarding the state's digital evidence. I understand that may have been provided on a USB drive to you, Mr. Lane. I want to hear from the state with regard to that first. So either Mr. J or Mr. Cacciatore.
Yes, Your Honor. We have tendered to Mr. Lane a copy of the exhibit list with our expected items of evidence that will be received, along with expected witnesses to be called at the trial. A copy of that was provided on the USB with the exhibits, the witness list, also proposed jury instructions.
From Monday was regarding the state's digital evidence. I understand that may have been provided on a USB drive to you, Mr. Lane. I want to hear from the state with regard to that first. So either Mr. J or Mr. Cacciatore.
Yes, Your Honor. We have tendered to Mr. Lane a copy of the exhibit list with our expected items of evidence that will be received, along with expected witnesses to be called at the trial. A copy of that was provided on the USB with the exhibits, the witness list, Also proposed jury instructions and a stipulation as to victim ID for her review as well.
Okay, and when was that provided to Mr. Lane?
Just now.
Okay, all right. The witness and exhibit list that is included on that USB, do you have hard copies?
I do, Your Honor. I would like to file them in open court.
That was going to be my next question. Okay.
And I have a copy for defense
Okay, very good.
as well.
Debbie Bruce, if we can get the copy of the witness list and the exhibits and take that from Mr. Lane and provide it to Ms. Boone.
And Your Honor, the state's position is that given that our exhibit list contains within it a witness list as well, we would ask that that document be sealed the way the witness lists are routinely sealed. A copy of that request to seal is there with the notice of the witness list on the initial page before our notice of the exhibit list.
What I have in front of me is the notice of provision of witness list and then the notice of expected evidence and witnesses in trial. I don't have an order or...
It wouldn't be an order, it would just be that first document you read, reference, the notice of provisional witness list.
Got it. Okay, thank you. All right. Anything else with regard to the expected evidence and digital evidence?
No.
Okay, so just for my own understanding, there are 9 files on the USB drive that are digital in nature. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right, and those are all on the USB drive that is going to be provided to Ms. Boone?
Yes, they're broken down by folders.
And the folders, or the names of the folders, do they match the names in the digital evidence list?
They roughly match. I believe that on there may be some slight change of terminology from, I believe, files found on iPhone as opposed to Suitcase videos.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
It's not funny, okay? Because when he said the suitcase videos, she's probably going to say, "I want those thrown out. I object." Oh my gosh.
Anything else to add with regard to the digital evidence?
No, I also have a copy of the thumb drive as well, as Mr. Lane has had an opportunity to copy for his client that I can tender to, again, they're intended for Mr. Lane to tender to his client.
Is that different that we've already given him?
He had an opportunity to copy it, but this would be their copy to retain.
Okay, all right. So you can go ahead and provide that. Do you want to mark that as an exhibit for the purposes of the hearing? I guess not, since it's going to be transferred directly to Mr. Lane.
Correct.
Okay, all right. You can go ahead and give that to Mr. Lane. All right. Ma'am, or Mr. Castore, any other questions? Anything else you want to bring to my attention with regard to the digital evidence?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, have you had the opportunity to review the notice of expected evidence and witnesses in trial document that was just provided to the court and yourself this morning?
I did.
Okay. Do you have any questions with regard to the digital evidence, which are paragraphs 1 through 9 on the first and second pages of the notice?
I don't know what the majority of them are. Is this part of the evidence that was supplied to me on all of the USB drives that was supplied also?
Yes, this is a pared down. All of the items referenced in our notice and provided on the USB have already been previously disclosed and given to defense.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
Yes, on the USB drives for the laptop, it's not compatible with the USB drives for some of the files, so I cannot open a majority of what are on both of the USB drives.
What do you mean you cannot open a majority?
With Amazon's low back-to-school prices, you can spend less on school supplies, backpacks, and...
What can you not open?
I don't know specifically which files. I know that some of them come up as videos, some of them come up as JPEG, some of them come up as different formats. but there's an entire page of multiple icons that come up, and every time I try to open one, it won't let me review it.
Okay.
So I don't know.
What does it say?
I don't know. I moved on from that to try to go to other programs, so I don't know. I figured it would be something that I might be able to speak to Billy about when he came to see me early next week. So, but I'm just stating to the court now that's one of the problems that I'm having with the laptop.
But you said it's a majority, but you can't identify specifics for me, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. What is it that you're not able to look at?
It
See, he's trying to nail her down because she kind of talks in circles. That circular talk that Daryl did. She's just doing it a little bit better.
doesn't identify what they are because of the amount. When I click on a particular file, there's a file inside of a file inside of a file. So when I try to open one of the files, all these different icons come up. So if I try to click on one, it says unavailable. So I keep trying to go to the next one, the next one, and the next one, but they're all the same format, so I can't open any of those.
Okay. And how many times has that happened?
The one time
One file, 10 files, 20 files, 50 files, or was it just a one time and then you moved on to something else?
I don't know how many files were in it because I didn't bother to waste my time on trying to open. I believe I tried to open about 8 or 9 of them, and then I just moved on from that folder into another folder.
And the other items in the other folder, were those accessible? Were those viewable?
For the most part, yes. I have not had a
I don't know
moment
what
to.
for the most part means.
I haven't had time yet to explore everything due to the dorm environment. So as soon as
Oh boy.
and the amount of information, the vast amount of information that he has on there, I'm trying to figure out a way where I can sit in it. I have a letter to you that I wrote to the captain, a copy for you, so you know what I'm trying to work on in order for privacy to be had. So I haven't explored both USB drives to the fullest potential that I possibly can yet. Just from the moment that I have attempted to do so, the one problem I have had was with the one folder with many icons in it. I attempted to open about 8 or 9 of them, could not, so I moved on to whatever was next.
Okay, all right. Dave?
I could add to that everything that we have provided on this USB file, we have checked. It's all on standard formats. For instance, the public surveillance video that's referenced in our notice, we included both the original Publix files from there, and then we also had those files converted to VLC because they are easier to play in VLC. So if she clicks on that folder, she can click again on a subfolder, and she will find the VLC files for where the Publix video has been converted.
Okay, just a note, just a quick note. Now, trust me, I am no body language expert, but I don't know. I could just see, you know, how the way she's moving her mouth, it's almost like she's trying to say something, and then she's like curling her lips in, like, no, I gotta wait. But you can tell that she is not happy with what she's hearing, and this is going to be a nightmare because this is going to take forever because that's probably her plan. She's going to say she doesn't understand this, but I love how Judge Kranick pins it down. Okay, what do you mean? Do you mean most of them? How many? Are you able to open some of them? Because, you know, she could be working with what she had, and if she's writing another, hopefully she's not spending her time writing another accusatory letter about everything and how unfair it is, because she's just wasting her time. Hopefully she's not doing that, but we'll find out sooner or later. But yeah, she is filled with excuses, and you can tell by that expression on her face. It's almost like she's got a twitch there, and it's just like she wants to, hope she's not thinking Samsonite.
So everything in there should be standard JPEG, VLC, and also believe an MP4 for some audio-only files.
Okay, all right. Ma'am, do you have any other questions with regard to the digital information or digital evidence identified in the notice that the state's provided the court and yourself this morning?
That was what was just handed to Mr. Lane. So, Mr. Lane, you and I would go over that when you and I meet.
I will be meeting with you tomorrow.
Ever since I was young, my dream has been to open a chocolate shop, to make unique
There is a concern that I will not be able to transfer this to Ms. Boone through the jail protocol.
I have a remedy for that. With regard to, well, let me finish with the digital. Any other concerns, ma'am, as to the items identified in this notice?
Until I'm able to open them and see them, no, I do not.
Sure, okay. State anything else we need to talk about with regard to that issue?
Not in regards to that issue.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Lane, I'm going to ask that you take possession of that jump drive that was tendered to you in court this morning, and you advise the court that you're going to be meeting with Ms. Boone tomorrow. Is that correct? About approximately what time are you going to be meeting with her, if you know?
9 a.m.
Okay, all right. I have had the opportunity to have further conversations with Major Muhammad at the jail, including conversations regarding the physical documents. Ma'am, are you still requesting hard copies of the documents?
I am.
Okay. The jail has advised me that they've had conversations with you related to any other property or legal documents that you may need. Have you ever advised the jail that you have everything that you need and don't need anything else?
No, one of the sergeants came and spoke to me yesterday, miscommunication of some sort, where I explained to her what I'm trying to do with purging my property and the property department so I can anticipate those discovery hard copies.
Was that Tracy Hall?
No, that was Hall. Her last name is Hall.
So it was Hall, H-A-L-L, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But someone sent her to me to see me, so I just don't know who that was.
Who was it you communicated with yesterday regarding your personal effects that may have been in a property locker?
Miss Hall.
Okay, all right, thank you. Do you know Miss Hall's first name?
I don't know any of the officers.
Okay, all right. So in conversations with Major Muhammad, they are going to be able to accommodate you having your paper copies. So Mr. Lane, I know that you took custody of those and have had them. So tomorrow, when you meet Ms. Boone at approximately 9 a.m., you will meet Mr. Muhammad as well. Well, let me ask this. Are you able to go to the jail today?
I can.
Okay, so I know for a fact that Major Muhammad is available today, and he may be expecting you to arrive today. If you are able to provide to him the banker's boxes that were identified as A and B and that jump drive, and then provide the court with a notice as to when and what time and that to whom you gave it should be Major Muhammad, those items, so we can file in the court file. And those will then be, the digital evidence will then be provided with the laptop in accordance with the protocol that we've gone over previously, and Major Muhammad will make sure that Ms. Boone has access to the hard copies. So after conferring, well, let me ask this, State, do you have any other position with regard to the motion that was set to be heard today, the defendant's motion regarding seeking her hard copies?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so for the record then, that motion will be granted. The motion for defendant to lawfully receive, review, utilize the original hard copy discovery, 2 boxes A and B, submitted to the court by former attorneys on June 28, 2024 for preparation of trial in her criminal case. As ordered, Mr. Lane will deliver those to the jail today and seek to have them delivered to Major Malik Muhammad, along with the digital the USB drive with the digital evidence.
Okay, so that's good news. So they can get her hard copies to her. So she shouldn't have anything to bitch about as far as receiving everything. But let's just wait and see, right? That's good though. That's, so he's covering all the bases as far as I can see. Because she's going to figure out a way to complain about everything. Let's just be real here.
Mr. Lane, the deposition transcripts of detectives Chelsea Copsall and Scott Lowen were purportedly sent to you on August 1st. Did you receive those from Ms. Cashman?
Yes.
Okay, were they a part of the two USB drives that we addressed on August 5. You had the smaller one, which was everything you digitized from the 2 boxes, and then you had the larger one of other materials that you had been given previously.
No, but I do have a drive that I can put them on and make sure they get to the jail today.
Okay, if you could make sure, sir, that when you drop off the other 2 things, digital copies, I know Ms. Boone has identified that she has physical copies, but I'd like to give her digital copies just in case. State, do you have any questions with regard to the court's directive to Mr. Lane regarding the hard copies, depositions of the detectives, or the digital evidence the state may seek to admit in trial?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, do you have any questions for Mr. Lane regarding those 3 items?
No.
Okay.
What?
Can Mr. Lane be released?
Yes.
Okay. If you want to, can he be released, ma'am?
I guess I'll see you at 9.
Okay. Sir, if you could endeavor to do that today, I would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. The next matter this morning is the defendant's motion for defendant's reasonable freedom and movement by allowing her to be unshackled, unhandcuffed, to function equally and comfortably while utilizing the courtroom that was hand-filed with the court on August 5, 2024. Court has had the opportunity to review that motion and the law regarding restraints. State, do you have any positions at this time with regard to the defense's motion?
Your Honor, in speaking with courtroom security, we would oppose the motion, and we have Corporal Gavin Lowton available to supplement this court's knowledge on the issue.
Okay. So, ma'am, we're going to have a hearing on your motion. The state will call the corporal. He will be inquired by the state as to some concerns that they may have, and you'll be given the opportunity to ask him questions or cross-examine him after the state's concluded asking any questions. Do you have any questions about that process?
Is that today?
That will be happening right now. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about that process?
I don't.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and call your witness. State.
State will call Gavin Lowton.
Okay, so we'll get to hear Sarah cross-examine.